when I was a younger child, music has always fascinated me some way, shape, or form, but back then I couldn't understand why I was so fascinated with it. It wasn't until that I picked up the recorder in elementary school that I started to delve into it a bit deeper. But I didn't kick it into full throttle until I went into high school, where my music teacher at the time forced me to play the saxophone for the sake of the needs of the marching band. Well, at first I was against the idea of playing saxophone in the marching band because I wanted to play clarinet in the marching band. But it turns out from that point forward, that became the pivotal point, changing point in my life, since, you know, now the saxophone is like my main instrument. From then on out, my music teacher in high school introduced me to all kinds of crazy music, like, you know, jazz, classical, and all the stuff that roots from that. And since then, I've just fell in love with music, and that's when I decided I want to make it my life passion. Well, my musical influences would, you know, start off with the great jazz musicians and saxophonists that came before me, such as John Coltrane, Zoot Sims, Joshua Redman. Who else? There's Cannonball Adderley, Charlie Parker, you can't forget the Great Bird, and all that good stuff. And strangely, even Dave Koz, which he is still alive and kicking to this day, but it would not be a typical saxophone player's influence. But yeah, he's good. Even for a smooth jazz player, he's amazing. But anyways, my next sources of musical influences would have to come from my music teachers throughout my entire lifetime, from my middle school teacher who got me started on the path to music, to my high school teacher who convinced me to take this art form as a lifestyle, and then my college professors who are helping me and get to the next stage of my musical life. But especially my saxophone teacher, who has been helping me to develop as not only as a musician and as a saxophonist, but also as a human being. But my number one biggest musical influence would have to be the great Stevie Wonder. Oh man, his music is just so wonderful. As he always said, you know, if you know the music's good when you can feel it. Seriously, like, in order to become good at anything in this lifetime, you gotta practice every day at your craft. Like, especially hit that 10,000 hour mark. You know, you're only a master of your craft or really good at it till you practice at it hardcore with intent and focus for 10,000 total hours. Which can be, you know, from jamming, practicing scales, practicing your musical fundamentals, learning how to read, learning how to improvise, all that good stuff. And not only that, like, but with practice though, you need to have the inspiration and the influence. So not only with the practice, you also need to have, like, who are you aspiring to be, or who is influencing you in your playing, in your musical ability, like, and especially have a role model. That's what I'm basically trying to get at. Have a role model. Like, for me, my role model, Stevie Wonder, Zoot Sims, Joshua Redman especially, and Charlie Parker. Like, basically, role models on your instrument, role models on your genre of music that you're pursuing, and just role models as in, like, who do you want to emulate as a human being and as a musician as well.